Hello and welcome to the Life is Storytelling podcast. Today is August 7th of 2025. I'm your host, Chris Pierce, joined by my co-host, Ernest Gonzalez, or Ernest of Edgewood. Ernest, how you doing today, bud?
Oh, I'm really good, baby. Really good. Today is a good day. How
Yeah, man.
about yourself?
I'm good. I'm doing good. We'll kind of just drag this into the housekeeping here. We will not be recording next week. It is my last full week in my current home, and I'm just taking the full week to get ready for the move that is next weekend, because I'll be moving into the Justinium.
Yep.
Moving in with Justin next weekend, getting that all set up, and then of course from there we'll start recording again. But yeah, just got to get ready for that. But here we are. Gonna be good times. I know it's been a lot of because like Ernest, we didn't record last week because Ernest had to take his son home, spent time with his son. Ew. But it's just at the tail end of this summer. Got things going on, man. But we'll be back to the consistency very soon. Um, but we have so many reviews. We have three reviews to go over today. I went through two games. Ernest has gone through a big one. But before we get to that, you're probably wondering, none of that sounds like it has to do with anything about what that doesn't sound like the name of the episode. You haven't addressed it. Fear not. We're getting into what is going to be a new opening segment for us called Topic of the Week. And now, today's topic, are Snake and Big Boss the same person?
Oh, you
So,
motherfucker. Oh, God damn it.
so if you follow us on TikTok, which we please do, please,
Yeah,
or
go
YouTube,
do
it's
that
also
now.
on the YouTubes right now. Oh, actually, actually, I'm glad the other one's not on YouTube. It's only on TikTok
Yeah,
right now.
you would just
Uh,
be berated more. Yeah.
right, but
Yeah,
you will have seen the one I did for Ernest. What I'm referring to is the Guess Who, a little fun thing we do. I put up a picture of Cloud, have him ask yes or no questions, figuring out who's this guy, and I did start us off on easy with Cloud,
yeah.
and then I was like, you know what? Hit me with it, Ernest. And he wanna. To be fair, when he showed me the picture, I didn't think about it either. But his was
I
Solid Snake.
right there on the spot Googled Solid Snake.
Yeah,
Right. Like
yeah.
I was like, who's the character that he'll get? And I was like, oh yeah, okay, Solid
Yeah.
Snake. Google Solid Snake, go over the images, and then what happened, Chris? What happened for
What
you?
happened? The fact that Solid Snake is a clone of somebody, which makes sense
Right.
because he has a game coming out this month. And it's just like, why wouldn't you pick the most high quality photo you find there? And yeah,
That's exactly
it's
right.
Snake
Yeah,
from Metal
yeah.
Gear Solid 3. But who is Snake? It's Big Boss. Like it's yeah. And then we did the whole Guess Who thing of like, who is it? This, and this. To be fair, I was not getting the Snake. I have this thing where like if I'm pretty sure I know who it is. Like I get that tunnel vision. We ended up lucking out. Kinda. Obviously, it wasn't
You
right.
said Snake at the end.
I did
Yeah,
say
yeah.
Snake at the end, but I was like Dante, Devil May Cry. Um, but no, it was Big Boss. We've heard the comments. We hear you. It's funny. It's a funny thing. But I love because I messaged Ernest, and obviously like, we're texting. I don't see his face, but there's a change in cadence, not just from Ernest, from anybody who's just like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man.
And
I
I
mean,
didn't know that you commented on the video again, being like, I love that you
yeah,
put the whole thing you told me on there. It's like great,
right.
amazing.
Yeah, man. Like, look, I Googled a picture of Solid Snake.
Uh,
They're fucking clones of each other.
well,
Like
no, one's the
they're
real, the other's a clone, but yes.
it's like that's like closer than an identical twin if you're a clone.
It should be,
You know
yes.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, you think clone, you think exact copy. He is an exact copy of that motherfucker. So you understand how, and yes, like there's wardrobe, there's face paint, things like this that are different.
yeah.
But I mean, it's Snake. It's Snake. You know,
It is
I
Snake,
understand they're two
but it's
different
not
people.
solid Snake, and that's the
They have different.
problem.
Yeah, yeah. I'll do better.
To be
I'll do
fair, and not, to just show that there's not actually anything dramatic going on, the replies were not like super negative.
Not
Nobody's
at
like,
all.
"You're an
Yeah,
idiot." They were just like, "Isn't that Big Boss? That's not Solid Snake." And it's
yeah.
like, it was great. It's fine.
They weren't like, that's Big Boss, you dumb fuck. It was
Right,
nothing like
right.
that,
They
you
didn't.
know?
There was no
Yeah,
attacking. There was no attacking.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But I honestly just a great little fun thing that came from that. But
yeah.
yes, someone being a clone of the other, they're two different people, and it's very important for a video
I'm
game to determine
I'm
that.
real big on like admitting when I'm wrong. You know,
Yeah.
I really do my best to acknowledge those times, the rarities that they are. But I do admit that I'm wrong here, but I feel like it's valid as hell, bro.
It's
That's as valid as
well,
hell, baby.
the validness is the fact that the same character model would be used to be the other character.
Yeah, yeah. You just,
But if we were in a movie and
make him
two
look
different
more
people were
mad, bro.
cast as oh, right, or like because Boss doesn't have the eye patch at first. Um,
Mm.
Snake like always has it. Regardless, we don't need to get into it. But the fact that it also just happened to be the month that everyone's eyes are on Metal Gear, it's just added to it. Because obviously Metal Gear Solid Delta coming out here in a few weeks. Big times, big excitement for that, and we're big fans. Don't let that TikTok fool you. And
Yeah,
again,
no, huge, huge.
to go
I
along with
also
Ernest, I didn't think about it when I saw the picture either.
and I haven't played that game since it came out, you know.
Hmm.
So yeah, I've been waiting on this remake. Not since I finished the game the first time, but
No,
I played what 1 and 2 at the beginning of last year,
I think it was the beginning of last year.
thinking thinking that 3 or Delta, whatever we want to call it, was going to come out at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And apparently I just made that up for myself. I don't know. I don't know. I really thought it was going to come out at the end of last year.
Yeah.
So but yeah, I'm hyped for it, man. To
Okay.
finish like that first trilogy. And it really, like, I feel like story wise it's the most hard hitting,
Yeah.
you know. So really really looking forward to it, and then that will open the doors for me to go to 4 finally, because I never played it.
And I was gonna say, because you're not wrong. Three is because I played it for the first time with the collection. That was my first
Mhm.
time. I was like, I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna experience this, and then I'll go through the full remaster and have something to reference there. Um, the story for three is great, and it has to be one of the most hard hitting things. The thing is, when you end something, if they end it well, it should be the more hard hitting thing. And I will say, because well, bear in mind, it's not the end of Big Boss in the Metal Gear Solid 4. You're Solid Snake. It's somebody else's ending. So, I
Yeah,
mean, to be fair, he's aging at a rapid rate because he's a clone. They figured out there's a fault in their makeup of the clones, and he's just aging really, really fast. Um, same issue I have right now, all these grays. But yeah, dude, no, I need that other collection. And if they don't, like they never said it was like volume two was going to come out, and they never gave a date. They did say a volume two is happening because they put out the whole image of like volume one. This is what's included into it. Volume two, question mark, question mark, question mark. And I was just like, we've been waiting, and we know four is going to be in there. We know four is going
yeah.
to be in there. There's no way it's not. It's currently locked on PS3. That's the only way you can play
But
it.
I feel like to hold Konami to any kind of timeline is a fool's errand,
For sure.
you know. Like you're
I mean,
you're
to be
just setting
fair,
yourself up
Kojima
there.
too. No joke. But take your time, obviously. But yeah, it just, I want to know. Just tell me. Acknowledge volume two.
Yeah, yeah. An estimate, like, yeah,
Yeah.
this should be out in like 2 years, something like
Right,
that. I
right,
would
right.
love that. I would love that.
That'd be
Yeah.
fine. It'd be fine, man. I understand not right now because you want to pump up what's about to come out, but
Mhm.
maybe once
Right.
this is out, come on, man. Oh, I guess
You
they're
don't
gonna
want
move to
those
Silent
people
Hill.
that are hype for 3 or Delta, whatever we're gonna call it.
Right.
Goddamn. To be like, oh, like I really just want to play 4. I'm just gonna wait on it. Yeah, they want to give you this for right now, and then they'll start
Right.
hyping up
Right.
the
Right.
next
Right.
one. I imagine that's the thought process there, but I'm not an advertisement.
Hey,
So
man. And then we also from Konami have Silent Hill F coming out in September. So plenty of things coming from Konami right now. But yeah, topic of the week, fun little thing, just a little chit chat. We'll see what we end up bringing. I told Ernest to bring some stuff to the table as well. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. But
yeah.
before we get, well, actually no, we're just going right into it. Um, Ernest, you beat one of the most acclaimed games of the year.
Hmm.
Um, Definitely was really big when it came out, and it's been what people have been calling like the sleeper hitter of just like it was huge, but like not everyone gave it the chance, right?
Right.
Um, but Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. You did the first one. We've talked about the first one, of course, but now you've played the second one. You finished it as of last night. Ernest, give me your review. Spoilers are allowed. It's been forever.
Yeah, yeah.
And give me a score.
Yeah, I definitely have more to say about the game in general. Not too many spoilers here,
Okay.
but
Just letting you know the
it's
freedom's there.
fan fucking tastic, man. This is a very, very, very good game.
Hell
Like
yeah.
I see why on every Game of the Year post there's at least a few comments in there that are like Kingdom Come Deliverance
Yeah.
2. Like I 100% get how you put this game above other games that came out this year. I
Mm.
have my favorite thus far. Um and I think it still sits there at the top of the list,
Yeah.
the Expedition 33. But that's because I'm an RPG gamer. That's because um that story grabbed me as much as it did.
Yeah.
But with this one, like this is a perfect simulator for, you know, like medieval, like knight living. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Knight with a K. They they do such a good job. Like I really really enjoyed the first one, and one of if anything brought down my score with that one, of course it was the combat, which I'm gonna talk about
Right.
in a bit, but also the way that the story ended, because they did have me invested in these characters, things like this, but then instead of coming to that resolution, it kind of just drops off. Like,
Mm.
okay, this is the end of the game. Obviously, there's going to be a sequel, but it just felt so abrupt. Um, this story takes you through so many highs and lows of these characters. You really get to see them at their most vulnerable times and the times where they're just an absolute badass. And no character is like unflawed or anything. The writing here, the character design is just so top notch, along with the acting as well.
Hmm.
You can definitely tell there's some spots where NPCs they reuse some of those same voices.
Mm.
I do get, and it's throughout, you know, especially RPGs, because they like notoriously have the most NPCs to deal with in the first place. And we can look at any Bethesda game and you know that one voice, that
Sure.
one dude that's giving you a quest every time, you know. So it's not the biggest drawback at all, but there are some character models that are repeated as well, like maybe they have a different color mustache or something, you know. But like, you're the same guy that gave me a quest before, you
He's
know.
just signing up for a free
Um,
trial. Yeah.
with that, this and then when you get to the end of the story, before I forget, it does not tear off like that. It is such a good ending to a game.
Mhm.
While it is again setting it up for the story to continue, like there's still things left to do. It's not a definite end, but what a nice comma it
Mhm.
is, as opposed to being like that definite punctuation. Like, because I'm still hyped for more, but I feel like we did get to like a true ending there. This chapter was closed,
Yeah.
you know, and that is a huge improvement from the first one.
Okay.
um but combat, though, let's talk about that, because
Mhm.
it really is. It's not that it's bad, it's just not my favorite thing.
Mhm.
Because at first it's like a skill issue, bro, get good, you know. And then, but then once I did get good, I learned combos, I learned the master strikes. Then it really does feel like just fighting in general just got so much easier, you know, like
Mhm.
as you learn those different skills and stuff, which makes sense. Like you're grinding towards that.
Yep.
And as you receive more training, you should be better in a fight. And you can very much see that. But it's just, even once I had the system down, it's not my favorite combat in the
Yep.
world.
I get you.
I wish that it was just a different system altogether, or at least a little bit more smooth.
Mhm.
Because for all the authenticity that this game has, where it just feels so real, it feels so true to life. The combat is just like, you know, when you do make contact um, with your enemies and you're winning fights and they're dropping to the ground, it's just like everything's so realistic. And then it's this weird physics of just like, bleh, like it's like, it's a little strange. It throws me off a little bit
Mhm.
and is a little less immersive than some of the other parts. But
Gotcha.
The parts with the immersion are just so well done. Like it may be frustrating to some people, but this is very much, like I said, a simulation to real life and how things would really be. Like every flower that you pick to go and make potions with, you are bending down and picking it up. There's no
Mhm.
skipping the little cutscene to do that or anything. Like you have to actually grind this stuff out. Again, same as the same game, you do then have to take those flowers, those herbs, or whatever they are, to the alchemy set and, you know, pour in wine or pour in water, follow like an actual recipe. You're boiling it for a certain amount of time and taking it off and then adding new ingredients that you mashed up a certain way, things like that. It's so detailed. It's so fucking detailed. And if you're not after that, you might not have a good time. I can sit there and make potions forever, baby. That
Mhm.
shit is so dope. But that's the
Mhm.
blacksmithing here is just so you turn it into a little bit of a melody as you're going. If you create a rhythm with you like striking the steel at a certain time,
Mhm.
then you start to whistle a song,
Mhm.
and it makes it to where I can just sit there and just forge swords like
That's
all
awesome.
day so that I can go sell them
Okay.
off and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Because at the beginning of the game, you really end up in a spot. They do a really good job of taking everything away from you
Mhm.
without it being like, I always think of when you talked about that last Sonic game,
Mhm.
the open world one,
Yeah.
where
You just keep
where
losing your
every
ability
time
every
you
time you go
reach
to a
a new
different island.
island,
Yeah.
you get hit by something. And it
Terrible.
does happen to Henry a couple of times here, but each one feels so valid, like within the story, like this is happening for a actual reason.
Like somebody stole stuff from
um
you.
right,
Right.
right. Well, like at the beginning of this one, you're going with your best friend, your homie, Lord Capon, to deliver a message to the one of the enemy lords to try to get them to come to peace. We want to
Mhm.
end the war. This is bad for the people, and we're just being selfish. We need to like band together and end this stuff, right? And you can't go into the city the first night, so you have to camp outside, and you are struck by bandits. They kill all
Yep.
of your men, they take
God
all of
damn.
your stuff,
Yeah.
and you are just like wounded trying to find like a good place. You end up at a tavern, end up in a fist fight, and then you end
Mhm.
up in the stocks, you know, and you just
Damn.
have to go and make your way from there. So you're stealing, you're, you know, out here just gathering plants, making potions, trying to like sell them off so that you can get a little bit of money to get yourself a sword or something like
Yeah.
this, you know, something to protect yourself. And it's really building yourself up from the bottom, which in some cases can be really frustrating when it comes to an RPG, especially when I played the first one earlier this year. So I did plenty of this leading into it, you know. It didn't feel like, oh, I have to do this again. It was almost more like a, oh, I get to do this again,
That's
you know.
awesome. That's what you want.
Um, right, right. Because like role playing game wise, RPG wise, I really feel like this is one of the most just authentic experiences to real life.
Mhm.
Like this, the way that you have to grind goes so far in the immersiveness. It's just so well done. So well done.
That's awesome.
Um, so yeah, that's, and I just feel totally connected to this main character. It
So you
very
are playing as the
much
same guy.
feels right,
Okay.
right. Henry from the first one is
Didn't know that was his
Henry of
last name.
Skalitz.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's Scott.
Henry of Skalitz. I already knew. See, I know you, man. Henry of Skalitz makes his way into the second one. There's a lot of returning characters,
Mm.
so all those relationships that you built up in the first one are not lost here. There is the loss of some of those main side characters, and that shit hurts. Like over time, you are. I mean, some of your friends from the first game
Mm.
die in that initial bandit raid, and
Right.
it's like, dude, what are you doing? You know, but the
Damn, man.
emotional stakes are high from the top, off the bat, and then so You do end up with like a new crew here. You're building like a crew of just ragtag. Like this person's a noble, this guy's a bandit, this guy's like, you know, a farmer, and we're gonna band together and take down the king or whatever. And it's like, and they make it make so much sense. All the different characters have such personality that when they interact with one another, it is just very well. It's so well written. It's so well written.
That's
It
good. Yeah.
feels so real.
Okay.
Um, and another part that really brings to the realism is just walking around the towns, especially when you get to Kutenberg, which is the largest of all the towns. It all feels so alive. You
Mm.
know, you get to so many towns and RPGs, and they just, you know, it's NPCs just standing there waiting for you to come
Right.
talk to them. And that is not the case here. These people are out here living. They're out here doing their jobs. And in some instances, you can't talk to the blacksmith because he's in the process of pulling something out of the fire. And you wouldn't do that in real life, right? So you
Right.
got to wait till he brings it over, starts hammering on it for you to be able to trade with him and stuff like that. Like it just makes sense.
Yep.
There's people outside of bars just having like actual arguments. You can tell that there's history in these people's past, and they're like come to fisticuffs and things like this, you know.
Mm.
And you get to sit there and stand with all the people and just watch them like go at it the same way that you do when you end up in a barroom brawl. So it all is just, oh, it's so beautiful, man. I really enjoyed this game. I really feel like this is top tier simulation RPG type stuff, and that it goes along with such a good story really speaks to how complete this game is, you know.
Okay.
So I have to give it a 9 out of 10.
Hell yeah.
The combat is still something that's going to hold me back, and it can be refined,
Hmm.
and I still feel like it wouldn't be my favorite combat in the world. I think it's more of the system,
Uh-huh.
and that's a me thing. It's not so much a game thing, but because of that, I can only give it the score that I can,
Hey, 9 is
which is
like
that 9.
amazing. So that's
It
good.
is
Yeah.
amazing. It's an amazing game, and it very much deserves to be in that conversation for game of the year, because this is easily one of the best games that I played.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I will say, because in my experience, first person melee is just hard to get. I will say, weird pull. But we talked about it earlier this year. I do think Avowed had it like pretty damn good.
It was good.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was good combat.
like every
Yeah.
like whatever you were using, it like felt good.
Mhm.
Um, because outside of that, I can't think of what like Skyrim is like the most simplistic version of first person melee. Granted, you can
Right,
switch
right.
swords.
You have the
Um,
sword, you have your spells,
right.
go. Or you have the bow, go, or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Again, to be fair, well, you know what? They keep releasing it, so we get to talk about it in modern standards.
Yeah. Yeah, that game came out last year. What are you talking
Oh,
about?
man. Hell, we just got Oblivion this year. um,
It's
but
something new, man. Well, they did
I'm
they
happy they
did
remastered a game I
in
didn't play,
space.
but regardless. Oh, true. True. But yeah, no, it's and it definitely because I think I only played around like 5 or 6 hours of that first one. Realized it's just not worth anyone's time. And yeah, so it's just yeah, this franchise is dead to me. So I'm just playing. No, I intend to give it a shot because I do think because it's the exact thing like I told you because I know you were very reluctant when I told you about it at first. I was like, the first one's on sale, Ernest. Maybe we should play that before just jumping into the sequel because the
Yeah.
sequel definitely wasn't on sale at that point. That was
And
much closer to
and
its
I was
release.
like, I want to play too. It
Right,
looks awesome. People are
right.
saying great things about it, stuff
Yeah,
like that. And you're like, I mean, one's like $5, bro. Come on.
right. It was like really
And
on sale.
yeah, very much on sale. It was so on sale, you
So on
know?
sale. And
Yeah.
actually, now that I say that, do you think? Because you're playing as the same character, do you see the benefit
Mhm.
of playing, well, not necessarily back to back? I understand that's a lot of hours, but having that experience of one, then going into two.
There is definitely a benefit, but I don't feel that it's necessary.
Okay,
Like you don't have to play the first one in order to play the second one,
that's
because
good.
as you're going through that story and as you're dealing with characters that are just like, if you hadn't played the first one, they seem like they're just popping up out of nowhere.
Mhm.
They do a very good job of organically giving you some backstory,
That's
not
good.
where
Okay.
They're not where they turn and like they turn to the screen and be like, "Hey, everybody! So this is my dad from the first game," or anything. You know what I mean?
Well, he's dead now.
So
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
they do a very good job of just integrating some conversation between two characters, whether they be just next to you and you're listening in on it, or
Uh-huh.
you as Henry speaking to somebody about that character or that situation that they're bringing up and stuff like that. So
Okay.
yeah, they do a very good job of just kind of easing everything right on in there. But there's definitely that benefit to playing the first one as well, because it does add some more emotional stakes that I think would be absent
Okay.
if you were just going in and just finding out about these
But it's
people.
not necessarily hollow if you haven't played the first one, is
Not
what
at
you're
all.
saying.
Not
Okay.
at all. They still, and then because there's so much new
Yeah.
that's introduced here that I think I think you still, you know, have enough there to not take away from the experience if you
Okay.
haven't played that first one.
That's awesome.
But
Yeah.
the other part with it too is I feel like combat is going to be a little bit easier if you played that first one, because the first one is a little bit more rough around the edges. They did
Right.
simplify it a little bit while still making it better.
Mhm.
So I think going through the rough patch first of the first one's
Right, right,
combat
right.
only makes this one that much better.
It's like your weights. Like you're wearing the
Right,
weighted ankle bracelets, and it's like, okay,
right.
take them off.
And then
But
you
it's still just
broccoli it,
clunky.
right? Yeah, yeah. Or Rockley. Who's
You said
broccoli?
broccoli. Yeah, you said
Yeah.
broccoli. That's food. That's not an anime
Oh shit!
character.
I might be hungry.
Oh my god.
This
Well,
is
I'm
how
glad
we
you enjoyed
find
it.
out.
I'm
Yeah,
glad you
man.
enjoyed it, man. It's
Yeah.
awesome. Obviously, the only reason I care about your opinion on it is so we have it on the podcast.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Content, baby.
no, but that's good.
No, but I do think you would have a really good time with it. It's just it is a time suck
Oh, for
because
sure.
I spent 66 hours on this game.
Yeah.
That's what my home screen says. And this game is also fucking unforgiving, man. Like you are gonna die a lot. You're gonna
Yeah.
die a lot. Even when you get good at combat, every once in a while they land a couple of hits, and if your armor breaks somewhere and they hit you again, you're going down. Like it is going to happen.
Mhm.
That and there's stealth missions as well, and getting caught in it doesn't end a mission, but it does have like every enemy converge on you, and you're
Oh man.
going to die.
Right. Yeah.
So like my save file was about 55 hours or so.
Mm.
And the PlayStation home screen tells me I was on this game for 66 hours.
Yeah.
So that is about 11 hours of me just dying and retrying and
Retreading
dying and
stuff. Yeah.
retrying any given mission.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is a lot. And in that way, it's a time suck as well. But even all of these missions that they give you are so different from one another. It's never just like, hey, take this package to the next town or anything. If you are taking the package to the next town, there's some kind of like actual story going behind it. And every mission feels so unique from the last one that it's really hard to wean yourself off of the side missions to just focus on main missions. I barely did side missions, man. And I
No.
took this long with it, you know. I know I think a more completionist playthrough would be close to 140, 150 hours.
I believe it.
So, but that much content and for it to run all so smooth through two open world maps,
Mhm.
like you remember, I think it was on the last episode of that. This might have been a personal conversation between us, but I was saying because Death Stranding,
Mhm.
you go through Mexico,
Mexico and
it's a small
Australia.
portion,
Yeah.
and then you go through Australia, that's like your big map.
Yeah.
And I was telling Chris, I think from the way the story is going, I think the game's about to end. I think I'm almost there. I was probably at about 20 hours or so. And then that was the end of one part of the story. And then they
Well.
take you to a whole new map. I had just uncovered that entire map and they take you to a whole new map. And I was like, I think it might be like a Mexico situation. Like it
Yeah.
might be a smaller version. And I'm just going to wrap things up here. No. The second part is bigger than the first part.
Yep.
And I
As it
thought
should.
that
As
was
it should.
I thought that was an entire game's worth with that first part of the game. So yeah, two open world maps that feel huge. They don't feel too unique from one another just because
Mm.
the actual landscape that it's based off of over there, I feel like that's what it's actually like, you know.
Okay.
There are towns in here that still exist, and those towns are very much laid out to where you can see how it developed into the landscape that it is now. Like streets are set up the way that streets are set up now in real
Mm.
life, So it is that, and that's part of that. Like it feels authentic to reality, part of the game as well. But yeah, it's just so huge. It's fucking just so expansive, and yeah, so that I would say that's going to be the main thing of getting into it, because once you get in, you start figuring out some of the systems and you see how you're rewarded for
Right.
grinding that system. It becomes kind of addictive.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you know what they say. You get in where you fit in. Um,
All gas, no brakes with it.
but yeah, that's the thing with any. Granted, if you're new to RPGs, no hate. You'll
Mhm.
figure it out pretty quickly. But the majority of them are time sink. I would have played more than one Yakuza game at this point,
Right.
but they're
Yeah.
freaking long,
I
man.
thought about Yakuza while I was playing this because
Yeah,
of all the side activities that
yeah,
you have access to. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
yeah. It's they're huge, and it's just like the first thing I can think of because like other than like they do have their side games that are shorter. Like we have the man who erased his name and that pirate one
Right.
that came out. I think that was last year. The
That's how I
mainline.
thought Judgment was going to be, but no, that's still
That's just
huge.
all. That's a so that is a side game, but it's like its
Yeah.
own franchise within Yakuza.
Right,
So
right.
yeah.
It's more a spin-off than a side
Right,
game,
there you go.
right?
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Exactly, exactly. But yeah, because I remember because I forgot it was earlier this year going through my notes that I started on Yakuza Infinite Wealth this year,
That's right.
and I
And
put
you
a good.
didn't
I
finish
get.
that.
I didn't know. God no.
Oh,
Uh,
but you had played Like a
I played
Dragon
10.
just before that.
Right. I beat Like a Dragon last year.
Right.
The precursor. I understand they're all. It's their fault. They changed the names like this, but
Yeah, yeah, it is.
but like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, I started this year. I put about 10 to 15 hours in, and just it really just kept opening up, and I was just like, I'm gonna stop for a while. I'm
Yeah,
gonna back
man.
up off of
Yeah.
this for a bit
Those
because
are
sometimes you just don't have
huge
it.
games.
But then at
And
the
then
same
because I'm
time,
pretty sure like those streets are all laid out the way that it actually is in real
right,
life. So like,
right,
I mean, we're talking about one of the largest, most populated cities in the world with that stuff. So
yeah. And then you fast forward to like literally just a few weeks ago, playing Death Stranding. I clocked in around 120 hours. So sometimes it's the right time. Sometimes
yeah,
it's not. We were like literally last year when we were like Dragon's Dogma 2, Persona 3 Reload, just back and forth, back and forth. We're
that
loving the
burnout.
experience, but they're
Yeah.
all so long.
Yeah.
It's
We're
sometimes
loving
you
the
need the short games.
individual experiences,
Right.
but going through all of these games, the
Right, right, right.
experience of going through all of these experiences, man,
It's a
is a
lot.
lot.
It's a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah,
And that's why you need your shorter games, getting into like the mafias and
yeah.
whatnot.
It's also
Um,
when I like a good indie.
right, for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
I don't know
Good
too many
like
indies that
indie
are super long.
platformer type situation
Yeah,
or something.
I get you. I
So
get you. But hell, man, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and it's awesome because we'll see what we're
yeah, man.
Game of the year is already so big, and again, I've already brought this up. I'm so excited for your personal turmoil because
Of
they
me
real
choosing
because
myself.
Ghost of Yotei is coming out this year.
Oh yeah, no,
And
yeah, that's gonna be
I
a
never
problem.
for once thought that Expedition 33 is going anywhere. Sure, there's challengers. Never, we're respectable people. But but Ghost of Yotei, that's so close to home. So we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see where that's
yeah.
gonna
It's just
go.
one of my favorite genres on one of my favorite topics,
Yeah,
like ever
yeah,
since I was a baby.
yeah.
I my first word was Japan.
Wow.
Yeah,
I was
that's my mom.
stupid. But moving on to a game I beat. This is the only new thing we were talking about today. So I got through Donkey Kong Bonanza.
I want
Uh,
you to try to get through this without saying the word banana. Go.
but just that word, I can use the fact that they use that engulfed in
Oh,
other words.
you can use bananium.
Okay, Bonandium, thank you, and Bonanza, quite literally. Uh, but banana, I lost.
Banana. Yeah, you suck
Uh,
at this.
but Donkey Kong Bonanza. This is gonna be weird. This is gonna be really weird. Yeah, this is gonna be weird. This will honestly probably won't be too long. I will say, very good game. Not a great experience for me. I will say, and I was so surprised because me and Justin got it same day. We've been playing through it, whatnot. He recently beat it. The last time we were all in the party together, he hadn't beaten it yet. But Ernest asked us the question: do you see this as being a contender for Game of the Year?
Yeah,
And I will say, I still say yes, I do still see it. Ernest, Justin's saying immediately no. Granted, he can be a bit more like he's tougher.
harsh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
harsher, and
yeah.
that's fair. I mean, there's good that comes from that. Um, but when he compared it's the same team, and the DNA is definitely there. It is the same studio or team. It's obviously Nintendo that brought us Mario Odyssey. This is the last Mario 3D platformer we got. You've probably heard great things. I loved that game.
I've heard great things.
It's
Yeah.
so good. Um, I was able to get lost in that. I was not able to get lost in Donkey Kong Bonanza. I've heard so many reviews and I feel like a madman, like an insane man just locked in an
Like, what
insane
did I
asylum.
miss?
Right. Because
Yeah.
literally just like people calling it literally a frictionless experience. And I'm like, I have so much friction. I don't know what you're talking about. Um, it is a good game. I'm not going to sit here and shit on it. I'm not going to say that because there are things I absolutely adore about this. It is worth mentioning this is only my second Donkey Kong game ever to play.
What was the
Um,
first?
the first one it's the one they just re-released at the beginning of the year. Donkey Kong Country. It was the
Oh,
what? So if I'm getting that name right, no, I don't. I think it's Donkey. No, Donkey Kong Country Returns is what it's called because Donkey Kong Country is like one of the old school.
right.
It's the one that was on the Wii that they released again on the DS that they released again on the Wii U that they released again now on the Switch. So get it. But
Maybe we can't talk about Bethesda that much.
At least those are four different consoles, not just regardless, we're not gonna.
Oh, true. Yeah,
Oh,
good point.
but and I really like that game, and I do want to play. And granted, that's a side scroller. And I also I did play Donkey Kong 64 back in the day, but I never beat it. I was a child, and there's that game has
Mm.
like the most collectibles. Um, and then I have touched Tropical Freeze, and I do want to go back to Tropical Freeze, but I never got around to it. But in this game, like it's very fun, it's very vibrant, and it's a good time. But I just felt very quickly as you're destroying the environments, which I will say, it's insane. You can destroy almost everything in every level. That's like that alone. I'm like, I'm not going to yell at you for being up for Game of the Year if that
That's
happens.
like the main draw, right?
Yeah,
That you
100%.
would say. Yeah.
100%. And it's just like, because at first you're like, I doubt I'm going to find anything if I keep digging down. You will. You're going to find things.
Yeah.
And it's pretty ridiculous. But at the same time, at a point, I was just like, okay, I'm tired of breaking everything. And that's the worst mindset to have with this game.
And
Yeah,
because what I was thinking is like going into it was that it's kind of like the opposite side of Breath of the Wild, or not Breath of, yeah, well, Breath of the Wild, but Tears of the Kingdom as well, and that like you're destroying everything instead of building
oh, I
things.
see what you're saying. Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and building just allows for so much like variety,
It's
right?
true.
Like the people are still making new things
They
out
are.
there, and it's
Yeah.
crazy. But breaking is so one dimensional, isn't it?
So yes, but you can build things with the things you break, because you can
Mm.
put. And granted, some of these videos are just ridiculous. I don't know why you do this to yourselves. But somebody, because if you throw like, say you take a thing of mud, you can throw it onto another thing of mud, it forms something. Some people have made like bridges that just go
Yeah.
across the map. I'm like, that's not leading anywhere. Or sometimes, because like it does do the thing that I love in Tears, or Breath of the Wild, where there's ways to get around what the game's telling you to do.
Mm.
Because there's a few things in here where I was like, oh, I didn't mean to break it this way, but I got to the banana.
But it worked out, baby. Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Um,
he said it. He said it.
hey man, but I honestly overall by the like there were parts I was frustrated at with just like the camera when you are underground trying to keep track of where you're at. It doesn't help that this game and there was no way to have known beforehand, but it kind of triggered like slightly my like I'm claustrophobic and like you're in oh god. I'm not like having a panic attack or anything, but I'm like I'm
Right.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I have this child on my back. We gotta get her out of here. Uh and it was just such a weird storm of just like it didn't meet my expectations. So my score for Donkey Kong Bonanza, which will be one of the lower, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. I do think it is good.
Well, a
It,
7?
7 out of 10. Yeah. It is very solid till you break it. And I'm not anybody who's fallen in love with it, anybody who's had that frictionless experience. I'm not taking anything away from that. If you're able to enjoy it that way, bro, go for it. I constantly found myself, and I told Justin this, like part of getting lost in something is like you're not trying to move forward. Like you're not focused on moving forward. You're not doing this to just beat it. You're doing this to play it. Um, something about the layout of the worlds, because it's not an open world. There's different levels you're going through to the planet's core. Because when you reach the
Right.
planet's core, you're able to make a wish come true.
It feels
Um,
like legit stages to a game.
right.
Yeah.
And
Right.
some of those stages, and to be fair, like I just didn't like it. I just ended up accidentally going through them. You don't see a lot at first because they do put a lot underground and stuff like that. And I will say I did go back and whatnot. Um, but like I just, in terms of getting lost in something, I just want to be in there, getting lost in it. Like like not thinking of like, oh, dude, that's 2 stages away. I'm gonna take this fast travel spot to go back. Now I'm back in this older area. You find a couple of bananas, then it takes a few minutes to find another one, and you're like, well, now I'm not do. It feels like I'm not doing any. Like I'm not exploring naturally. I
Yeah.
came here like to do this, whatnot, and I do want to see where the story is going and everything. And so like you fast travel back to where you were, and then there's the whole thing of like, oh, now you're actually making progress and whatnot. Let's just keep this train rolling. The boss fights I think are pretty rough. Some of them are there are some really good ones. I will say when you get to the end of this game here, hell of a finale. But there's one specifically that flies, and like you can turn this off, but like it revolves around you having to aim and throw things. And the
Hmm.
game does start you off with motion controls on, and I'm just not a guy. That's not my thing. I'm like, oh
Right.
man,
Right.
this is rough. When you start like, it's just like not hitting him or anything, and like, oh my god. Turn the motion controls off, and then like you're aiming a bit better, but it's still just like, okay, DK. Different things have different weight, and is a really good detail, but
Hmm.
it's also just like I was already frustrated because of the motion controls. What's happening here? None of it felt like hard necessarily. Again, just the friction. Like it
Hmm.
felt like I was trying to break out of something, like literally.
More like a chore than a
Right,
fun thing.
right.
Right.
But every time I got to the little bits of like getting to learn Pauline's story and having
Hmm.
us like bond, and every time you get to the end of a level, they do a little dance and whatnot, and she's fucking adorable. It's very much like a Mike, no, sorry, Sully and Boo
Magic
situation
Mike.
from
Oh.
no, from Monsters Inc. Very cute, very lovable, and when you get to the end, I will say just like it's awesome. It is a very cool ending. Like the ending was the thing that was hyped up the most for me, and I was like, by the time I had gotten there, I was like, I don't believe you anymore. And maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's when I lowered my expectations. That I was like, oh shit, here we are. Um, but yeah, overall, I thought I just my experience of it was very much okay. It was good. There's a lot of fun to be had, and everything I'm seeing here, I do still think, yeah, absolutely. You're not going to hear me fight against it if it's up for game of the year. It is, I mean, obviously not my game of the year, but because I was already kind of in that mindset when you asked me and Justin that about like game
Hmm.
of the year,
It was
and
already starting to like tear off for you.
I was pretty much already teared off all the way. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
no, I hadn't hit the finale yet, so that's probably my lowest. And I was so surprised because Justin's only talked about how much fun he's had with this. And he's like, I feel like I haven't had played a game that's just been fun in a long time. And I was like, man, I miss Astrobot. Um, but yeah, and everyone who's calling this a masterpiece or whatnot, again, I'm not hating on that. I just didn't experience it in that way, didn't hit me in that way. But there is so much heart here. And I don't want to end my little talk on this review on this without bringing that up. Because Pauline is the heart of this. She's
Mm.
precious. This is probably the most narrative we've gotten from Nintendo and their platformers. Obviously, Zelda's have a bit more of the story and whatnot. Um, where literally as you're going through the story, Pauline, who's a shy little girl, whatnot, who's scared to sing in front of people, you see her opening up more and more. There's this really cool thing where like you can make your own save points. There's these little like cabins you build, and you can sleep there. And she lays like cuddled up next to you. And when you go to sleep, she tries to wake you up in the middle of the night and be like, "Hey, DK," and she talks to you about something that actively happened in the world that you've been exploring. She's like, "Oh my gosh, it's so cold here, Donkey DK." She always says DK. It's always so cold here, DK. Do you need to get a sweater? Do we need to get you something? I don't know. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Like DK never responds because he's a dumb monkey.
He's just like, you woke me up for this right now. It's 3 in the
Banana.
morning. Banana.
Oh, but she says really sweet things, and I
Is
do
it
love.
just
Huh?
Seth Rogen saying banana?
Oh God, I thought you were gonna say as Pauline. No, it's not.
Seth Rogen as Pauline,
No,
dude.
no, no. It is not that. It's much more your classic DK voice.
Okay. All
But
right.
their just relationship is so cute. It's very sweet. It's very heartfelt. And when you get to the end, it does somewhat. Again, spoilers. Spoiler alert, folks. Because I'm going to talk about the part I like the most about the game, and it's the ending. You get to the end. So the thing about Mario Odyssey is you find a town called New Donk City, and the mayor of that town is Pauline, and DK lives there. It's okay, she's an adult there. Uh, now, this doesn't necessarily confirm that these games are 100% connected because you should not rely on Nintendo for it, like timelines. They're not focused
Right.
on that, which is fine. They make great experiences for you to play in the moment. But this does lead itself to because at the end of this game, you end up in New Donk City. You find out that's the town that she's from. He's Donkey Kong. And not only that, you do have a villain all the way through that it's these new guys. It's the Void Corporation, whatnot. When you beat the like Void Kong, the leader of them, you're wondering like what's about to happen. That feels a little abrupt. King K. Rool shows up. You know him from Smash, Crocodile
Mhm.
Man, notorious villain from the Donkey Kong series, and he just literally pops up out of nowhere, and he's now the guy. He's the one who ends Void Kong, and now we're having to deal with King K. Rool, and you do have like a two phaser with him, and I will say like again, I don't think there's necessarily anything too hard here, but like it's the closest to like a challenge you're gonna get because he just throws a lot at you. Um, but it's fun. It's really fun. And it's really cool to have it be a thing of just like, oh, New Donk City, we've had this in another game before. Pauline, assuming they can consider this a timeline, like we know she's the mayor of this town later, and that we can assume keeps a friendship with Donkey Kong and all this stuff, and how it's just very much her experience with Donkey Kong has helped her to grow into a person who's willing to speak her mind and express herself and not be so scared of that. And it's awesome. And on top of that, and it's really important for what the game's promoting here, the music is good. It's
Mm.
actually very good. And she has a whole song at the end. They tease it in the first Donkey Kong Bonanza trailer, and it got me a little bit. Like I didn't shed a tear, but it got little like when
You had
in
the
anime
you had
like
the
when
lump.
lump in the throat,
Yeah.
the people like ripples.
There's like a mist coming
Right,
off of
right,
the,
right, right.
yeah,
And I was
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, but yeah, it's precious. And then there is like after game content, which is I tried it for a moment. I was like, no, I'm gonna end up hating this game because that is where the hard stuff is. That is where the hard stuff is.
Ah,
If you want your challenge, it's all there, and you do get something for it. Um, but yeah, overall, not what I was wanting from it, and part of it could easily be how much I was into Death Stranding, the game I played before this. Um, because that's
those are
the
two
first
very different
two very
games,
different
right?
games.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, you're
but
walking around with a baby attached to you or whatever.
hey,
But
is it different? I don't
yeah.
know. Pauline was dead the whole time. I'm just, but
Pauline was dead the whole time, too.
and I just call her Paul, so they think it's a guy, but it's actually a girl.
Oh,
Um, but yeah, it's very sweet. It's precious. Just overall gameplay experience did not hit me the way I wanted it to, and I just yeah. Since I've moved on, I'm happy with my time with it, and I will not play that game again. So there is
so
that.
can I ask,
You can ask what?
um, Like with your experience, what are some of the things that you feel is pushing it to like a game of the year contender for other
Level
people?
design, the amount, I will say, I do think the story, not one of the best story, like not one of the like the best actual narratives of the year, but
Mhm.
one of the most heartfelt stories of the year. And again, we kind of already like if you're praising the Switch 2, you're kind of praising Nintendo doing things that other consoles were already doing, and like they're just late with it, but you're like happy they're here. Um, they're like again the level design, the just how in depth and detailed this thing is, because the question you're asking, I know it can be easy to dismiss any type of platformer, and it goes into what I'm saying about like what I said about Astrobot last year. Granted,
Mhm.
obviously I had a lot more fun with that, and that ended up being my game of the year, and it ended up winning game of the year. Woo. um but a lot of that is here. It just didn't hit me the way I wanted, but I think we've all seen it's hit a lot of people the way they wanted it to. And maybe
Right.
I'm just not a Donkey Kong guy. Again, this is my second Donkey Kong game. It's fair to say that could be the case. And I'm a big, and again, like I will say, because I played it, I've beaten another game that I'm going to talk about here in a minute, and I'm playing another game right now. I've started on Liza P. Like I'm not finding myself necessarily immersed in anything since beating Death Stranding. Granted, I'm
Mm,
not to
mm.
say I have friction. I'm not going to talk like I enjoyed going through Ghost of Tsushima. I'm enjoying Liza P. I just got to the DLC last night. It's just like I want to get lost in it again. You know, get lost in it.
I know what that's. Yeah, that was me after Clear Obscure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was just like lost in the sauce, man. Like I'm trying to play things and I'm just not having like the enjoyment that I would otherwise have
Right.
in most cases, you
And I
know?
will say, at least in
But
regards to what I'm speaking of here, like Ghost of Tsushima, like I still remember a good bit of that. Like it's just like
true.
okay, and
It
like
was fairly recent.
right, and
Yeah,
like
last 5
literally,
years.
so I was pretty much there just for the narrative and just the experience, gameplay mechanics, and whatnot as we go
Mm,
into Yote, and seeing what that is like. Then just Donkey Kong Bonanza. Yeah, I don't know. Like a lot of those things, like I just got tired of the breaking, which is like a huge part of the game. So like it's like I don't know. Um, but again, the heart at it, the amount of detail into it, the level design, and the fact that I would say they tried on the story. They actually
mm.
put a good step forward into the story. I do like you're not gonna obviously hear me be like, oh, where the hell's Donkey Kong if it doesn't get up there. Um, like the only reason, assuming all the other slots are filled, I'm not going through filling them out right now.
Right.
Say it comes down to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Donkey Kong Bonanza. As of right now, the only reason I think Donkey Kong would get there is because of notoriety.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
Me
only thing.
not playing the Donkey Kong and like so it's a little bit of a biased thing for
I
me,
understand
but
that.
like I would be a little upset,
I
honestly.
understand that. I understand
It's
that.
just yeah, yeah,
I do think it's not going to come down to those two. Again, I just don't want to waste the time of filling every slot right now.
right.
But like just going off the two games we just talked about is what I'm saying. Because like I mean, Nintendo obviously classic franchise, not franchise studio. They usually make their way up there. If Nintendo's to get up there, I do hope they don't get up there for Mario Kart World. I do hope they get up there for Donkey Kong if it is going to happen this year. So we'll see. We'll see. I say that. No, I think Pokemon's going to be too late. We get the nominees in October.
Mm,
The game comes out in October. I would love for Pokemon to be up there, but at the same time, that's not Nintendo. That's Pokemon
yeah.
Company. Um,
We're all just hoping that game's good in the first place, but
oh, for sure.
I'm just kidding.
But to be fair, are we not saying that about every game right now?
I mean,
Um,
yeah, sure, sure.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. But moving on here, um, last thing here. I beat Ghost of Tsushima. I went through the director's cut. This is my first, well, sorry, second time going through the DLC because that's the last time we touched it. We did all the multiplayer stuff and whatnot,
Yeah.
and we did the DLC, and I just hadn't touched it since. And I was like,
That
you know
was
what?
our first non-shooter multiplayer game
I believe it.
that we played together.
I
Yeah.
believe it. If you
Yeah.
call what you do in Apex shooting, then sure. Yeah. Um,
This is because I used the bow.
I was gonna say, put the bow down, Ernest.
Put that bow down and come help me.
But and
Fucking Justin.
I want to be very clear because I am reviewing this on a 2025 scale. Because I will say when the game came out, I think I remember the conversation I specifically had with you. That I was like when I got done with the DLC originally. because I had an 8 on the mind of
Mhm.
Ghost of Tsushima, um, and then the DLC raised it to a 9. Um, Going into just scores because it really doesn't matter. I'm just re-reviewing something that is a very good game that has earned its the legacy I'm sure we're gonna have forever. Um, it is still a very good game, and I would still give it an 8. The only difference here is I do not raise it beyond an 8 from the DLC. It's a great game. It's a very good game.
Plus, you played the DLC like in the game, like kind of like where as soon as you could go there, off to the
Essentially,
side.
yes, because they act. The way I played the game, because I did just mainline the story. Well, I guess it's not 100% true. Of course, I did the main story. I didn't do all the side activities. I can't plat it again. Um, I did do every of your companions, like you're one of nine, you're two of nine, those side quests, because I do feel
Mhm.
like you kind of have to really get a story from this game. No, no hate. It's just there's not enough meat on the bone, in my
For,
opinion, for
with the
just
main
right,
stories. Right,
right.
right. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed there.
And there's a lot. And I will say, in terms of like what I experienced with those side stories, the majority of them did hit harder than I remembered them. Um, they all, other than the ones that are below 3, they all could use 1 or 2 missions shortened. So,
Yeah, yeah. There's some thrown in there just for that extra content.
right.
I see that. Yeah.
There's a few exceptions, like I can't remember her name now. The old lady who her family was killed, and
Right,
she
right.
gets a
The
list
one
of
that you get
people.
the armor, right? You get
Did
like
she
her
give me?
family's armor at the end.
Oh, maybe. I don't remember that. No, she didn't give me armor this time. I don't know if that's like
Oh,
something from something else.
I might be misremembering. It's
I
been
don't
a
know. To be fair, there
minute.
is more than one woman. That's all, to be
But
fair. I want to say it's
fair.
Masako, if I'm remembering that name right. Lady Masako. Because literally her family's killed, and you find out the whole thing was orchestrated by her sister. That's how her story ends. Um, Now hers makes sense because she has a list of people. She does the whole, what's her name? Arya Stark thing. She has the list of people she's gonna kill, and that's what you do
Yeah.
through each one. It makes sense. It's fair. Now everybody else, like I'm like the monk, we didn't need to do this. Like he had a couple of times where he's like, "I'm gonna be a good Buddha." No, I'm not. Now I'm gonna be good. No, I'm not. You take one
And
of those out, bro.
it just feels like you're dragging it out a little
A little
bit.
bit,
Like,
a little bit,
okay.
because like literally, because also he gets introduced a little later. Like you don't meet him
Yep.
until Act 2. And I'm just like, oh man, I really feel like I'm playing catch up with you right now. Granted, it does end in a really good way. Sad.
Hmm.
That's what I'm here for.
Sad is
Um,
good. Yeah.
it is. I will say the
Yeah.
one that I was hardest on originally was the story of Tomoe, the archer's apprentice.
I love that one.
And I did for again, I still stand by we could use 1 or 2 less missions. But I love the last two in the thing where literally you meet her without the mask. Like she's hanging out with you and Jin's like, "Oh, I know who you are," and all this stuff. And you do a whole mission and she escapes. I would love to hear about what she accomplished after the fact. That would be cool.
Yes.
That would be
That's
cool.
why when we got the trailer for excuse me, when we got the trailer for Ghost of
Yeah.
Yote, when we get Ghost of Yote, then I thought it was gonna be her. I really was like kind of
Right.
hoping
I
like,
thought it was
okay,
either her or Yuna. Yeah.
she's gonna land in this other spot
Mhm.
and now we take her and she's gonna take up the ghost mantle and do what she needs to do over there, some
Right.
shit like that. I'm totally cool with the new character.
Yeah.
I just do have that little bit of just wanting to know what happened after she
Right.
took
And
off
to be
on that
fair, I
boat.
think it's like 100 years or something since the first
Mhm.
one. So
Right,
obviously, I don't
right.
unless she
And
she
maybe
drinks
we
some of the
hear
cursed juice.
something.
That's what I mean,
Yeah,
and that's my thing.
yeah.
Yeah, because now I will remember Tomoe, that name. I would love to hear what she goes on and accomplishes. Because we're gonna have nods to the original. I understand we're not gonna probably meet Jin Sakai, but we're gonna hear
Right.
about Jin Sakai because first of
Mhm.
all, he is the ghost of Tsushima. If we're the ghost of anything, we're like taking up the mantle. Now on the opposite end, the stories that hit me good enough in the original that lesser now, Yuna, her and her brother, the blacksmith, everything's their fault. He got what was coming to him. And Yuna led to that happening as well. Like it's ridiculous.
Like it's blatant.
not necessarily blatant. I'm being dramatic. But it's just like Oh man, because it's so avoidable. Granted, it's fun because like you see the web of like the whole reason is it Taka? It is Taka, the blacksmith. The reason he starts like believing in and following Jin is because of his legend growing as the Ghost of Tsushima. Something I had forgotten in the original, that title, that the pushing of like that hype started with
Right.
Yuna. She started spreading the rumor. She started spreading the legend. And her brother bought into the legend. And because he wanted to be the good soldier and go help out Japan's Superman, yeah, we know where that goes. And the second she shows up to like, oh, you killed my brother, I was like, no, you killed your brother.
Because you're the one that's out here like pushing
Like
people towards
pushing people
this.
towards it, pushing him towards it. And it's not 100% her because Jin very much is like the good boy for a good bit, doing whatever his
Mhm.
uncle says and whatnot.
Right. Right.
Um, I will say I'm pretty much in the same spot where I was with Jin before. He's not a silent protagonist, but he has the personality of one. He's just very like
More like more along for the ride than
yeah, but
like
like
driving.
But the thing
Yeah.
is, where it did really work for me is when you get to the end of it with his uncle, because originally I didn't feel anything. It's very pretty, it's very cool, it is a very cool fight, and I did have to think about the choice you make there, though. Like, there's clearly a canonical one, because one is him embracing being the ghost of Tsushima. The other one's turning himself in. That's not going to happen. So it's
Right.
just,
Right.
but
But you do feel like for
yeah,
your uncle there,
because it's
and
the
it's
only time
like
you hear him scream. You hear him
you
scream and like cry when he has
and
to
you
when he
really
wins the
don't
fight against
like
his uncle.
it's not a fight that you want. Like you've
No,
been chasing nothing but fight. You want every fight coming your way
right.
for the most part in this
Yep.
game. And then you get to that last one and it's the one that you don't want to take.
Right.
And yeah, yeah, man, it's heavy. It's heavy. And it's just so damn beautiful.
It's a beautiful game.
Jeez.
100%. Still a gorgeous game.
Still
Obviously, this is the
holds up.
PS5. Yeah, that holds up. I will say, in terms of like quest design and everything, no,
Hmm.
it does not hold up. Um, Overall, the game does, but that aspect specifically, like the birds coming to get you, the foxes coming to get you, like I'm like, how did I get immersed in this? Again, it's a different experience when you're going through it your first time. It's always going to be easier to be immersed in something when you don't know what's coming. Uh, but like I do hope, and they said some things that things are going to be different.
Hmm.
But like there's more immersive ways to go about it. Like we've had a lot of games since the first Ghost of Tsushima. Sorry, well, like we can still say first Ghost of Tsushima sequels coming out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Since the OG version of Ghost of Tsushima came
The
out,
first ghost, does that work? I don't
yeah,
know.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Since that first one came out, that just have found ways to be more immersive and like quest design, getting you to go somewhere. Like everything you described in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, very different game overall, but you can still implement different variations of like how you get these quests, how you do these
Mhm.
things. Because you don't need to, with a bird coming to fetch you constantly, with the fox coming to fetch you constantly. I understand it's not the same thing, but it is very similar to just when you walk by somebody, a quest pops up in your screen for any Bethesda game, um, which is fine. I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. I'm just like looking at the scope of it in a 2025 game. If Ghost of Tsushima came out today, no one had the bias of like, what was it like when it launched a few years ago? I do think it would be launching around the eights and stuff like that. There's no like necessarily game development sin here. It's very, very good. It's great.
Mhm.
It's just some of those things can be tweaked. I do also hope that the side missions, whether it be longer or shorter, I don't want to necessarily focus on the length of those because you can justify them 100%. Like Lady Masako going through the list of people. Like you don't want to just kill everybody in one mission. Um,
Right. Right.
there's ways to make that more narratively coherent, and I do believe in this team to make that a thing. But like literally, and to be fair, like we talked about, like man, I wish it was easier for things to be tracked in this way or that way or this way. But when I see that this is one of nine, there's a part of my brain, no matter how much I'm loving the game, that I'm just like, this is just the
This
first
is
page
gonna
of the
be a
book.
lot.
Right, yeah,
Right.
like yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
This is just the first page of the book, bro. Like, ah, damn. And you just kind of feel that chore. And yeah, and again, to be fair, overall, these narratives, and they did end up hitting me in a lot of different ways, differently than the first time through. Because like Lady Masako, I didn't remember that was her sister that was like the ending culprit and whatnot. And you find out the whole thing. I forgot Lady Masako was like bi. I was like, damn girl, get it. Um,
It's Alexander the Grading it out here,
no, her
dog.
name's Masako. Embarrassing.
Everybody's
I'm
getting
just
it.
kidding.
Everybody.
For sure. And then the monk, when he finds his brother, but his brother has lost his limbs and he's been beaten severely and is begging his brother to end him. Like, oh man, heavy, heavy stuff. And
Yeah.
then he goes on a
Yeah.
rage spree and he's like, I can never be like the good monk or whatever again. And it's like, yeah, I see that. I see that right now. Um,
Yeah. That's
inter
tough, but
100%,
just
100%. The fucking Avatar. Oh, that's rough,
yeah.
buddy.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
the now the DLC, all these like, it's gorgeous. Like you walk out into just fields of flowers, and I'm like, y'all stop, y'all just stop it. And they have the whole animal sanctuaries, like with the cats, with the deer, stuff like that. I forgot about those. I love those. Again, I didn't really do too much side content, but I do know that there's other side quests you can do there. But also, like, there's a fighting ring that I remember doing, like within that area, where you're kind of like your hub area for this area, and that I thought that was cool. I'm really curious because like we're getting things like bounties now, and
Mm.
like it's gonna like different bounties per town, stuff like that. I'm really curious how that's gonna work. Um, I am still so my biggest like I don't know is going from
The
stances to different
weapons.
weapons. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That's
because
what I thought it was
like,
gonna be.
and it's not a doubt. They've given me no reason to doubt because these guys obviously understand combat. But it just like, especially going through it just now, it didn't
Mhm.
feel like you could bring the same thing. I wouldn't complain. Like it's so seamless. You can make a swing
Right.
and immediately switch to another stance. Like there's no delay. You're right there. I will say I did do this new game plus as well. So like I had all my stuff unlocked. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
I was the ghost going from day one. And it's just it was so effortless. It was so like not necessarily easy. But just like yeah, just experiencing it. The dual system, please keep that and if there's the way to make that better, sure. But dude, just like don't let go of the triangle until they get red on you. It's so good,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
satisfying, so
Yeah.
awesome. The flute, learning your new songs. I will say they added an extra tune, I guess, with some update because I had to unlock another one, so that's neat. Um,
It was
and
always challenging, but I loved cutting through the bamboo
oh, the
thing.
bamboo, very cool.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't do
Love that
so.
shit.
I tried some of those side activities to see what you get. Since I already
Mhm.
have everything, you get flowers, like to do like the
Oh yeah.
dyeing of the armor and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm already wearing like Kratos armor. I'm okay. I'm all right. Um, but again, still very good game. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to be getting with Yote, man. Because that
Yeah.
combat is going to be very interesting because it feels like something that's perfected. 100% does. And all for trying something different. I'm very curious because the big question with the weapons is, what if you don't have the weapon? Like, are you able to fight your way through? Because granted, with the stances, you can, because I tried it out, like you can use the wrong stance on somebody and still get a victory. It's just noticeably a bit more difficult.
Yeah.
Like they might have a few more blocks in there, stuff like that. So maybe it's going to be something like that to where it's not necessarily like, oh, you have to do this or do that, which I hope it is because that's a little rigid. Um, but
Or
yeah,
like if it's gonna be her carrying around all those weapons,
yeah.
and then like, does that mean, all right, is she just gonna pull them out of like the Never Never,
Oh,
or
well,
like are they gonna be attached to her somewhere?
I
You
imagine we'll
know,
see it
there's that too. Yeah.
because because even Jin, he had two swords. So,
Mm.
like, assuming it's this, granted, they haven't told us number or whatnot. Assuming it's the same number of weapons for how many stances we had, four. Like,
Right.
you can have those on her back.
Which that's what I was assuming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same. And then,
Yeah.
of course, a bow. I assume she'll have a
Mhm.
bow. It'd be cool if she had a pet fox, but if you kill it, never mind. Oh, she's a dog. She has a
She has
dog.
a pet
Oh, it's a
wolf.
wolf.
Yeah.
It's a dog.
Yeah.
Little baby.
She's the wolf.
No, she's a
I
wolf.
think that's what they're calling her in the that's what they're calling her in the trailers and stuff
She's a
in it.
fox to me, and I'm just playing. Um, But yeah, I have a lot of questions as we're going into Yote.
Mm.
But I will say I'm very excited. I'm
Yeah.
really happy I went through this again. Just to experience it. I will say the DLC, the villain, not the strongest. And to be fair,
Mm.
neither is the main story villain. Like he's mean. He's mean, but I will say I would have been more interested in I'm blanking on his name right now. Yoshua? No. The leader of the Straw Hats. Your friend.
Oh, and that being like the final boss.
Like him kind of taking up that spot. Because I will say, um, the moment you do end up killing him, I didn't realize that was the moment I was doing that. I was like, Jin, Jin. But I do love the
Oh
thing
man.
of like, because it's a faction game. You have your Straw Hats, you have the other bad guys. I can't remember right now. But it's interesting that when you're doing the stuff with the Straw Hats at first, you're trying to help them find food because they're dying off. There's not a lot of them left. He goes to the bad guys, and then those Straw Hats are everywhere, and they're in fighting condition. They're just ready to go, brother. Oh man! And the second you run back into your friend, he's just like, "I'm just doing what I can to keep my clan alive," and I'm like, "They're doing just fine." Oh man! But
Out here
that's
kicking
just
my ass, bro.
right. Because they're, I mean, they're obviously like the a step above like just your normal grunts and whatnot because they can block more shots and things like that.
Yeah, yeah. They
But
got training. They're part of this
right,
crew for a reason. You don't just
right.
let anybody
And it's not
into the
just because of
game.
them hats, you know.
Right, right.
Um, but yeah, overall, very good game. I will say I think it set my expectations for the sequel pretty well, and I'm in a position, and I've said this a lot. Hell, I said this about Elvis. I'm in a position to be wowed. Like there's granted, I
Yeah.
have more expectation for Yote than I did for Elvis. That was part of my expectation for that. But like it was just I'm stoked that it's not Jin. Sorry. And I'm stoked to just get back into this world. From what I've read, the size of the game is going to be about the same, but there will be more in depth into this world and
I'm
stuff
good with
like that.
that.
Right. Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
Yeah.
Like I mean, man, like I don't think we're out here like I don't need it to be the size of Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Right.
Yeah, you just give me the good content inside what we're getting. We're gonna be set. We're gonna be set. And I'm stoked. I'm really stoked to see what we're gonna get here. Again, we know that's one I think I'd be shocked if it doesn't get up for Game of the Year, and that's without me obviously even touching it because
Yeah.
it's just
It comes with, I mean, there has to be an expectation here if you
right,
played the first game. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Even
To
if
go
you
in
just
without
heard
one
about it,
is strange. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Because I mean, it's very renowned for
right,
sure. So yeah, no, I expect great things from
right.
this game. I've set myself up to be disappointed if
If
anything. But
they do end up disappointing you, do you think it's gonna feel like a sucker punch?
mm, mm.
Um,
No.
and what my original title of this episode was going to be, because I had a realization playing this game. Because obviously, you've heard me talk about it before. I'm like, dude, I would love for us to go back to Infamous. We never
Oh
will.
yeah.
It's not going to happen. Because if PlayStation's going to double down on a superhero franchise right now, what do they have the rights of that nobody else does? It's
Spidey.
Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the
Which I
thing.
love those games,
Oh,
but
for sure.
like, yeah,
For sure.
some variety would be nice.
But Ghost of Tsushima is 100% a superhero game. He's just not actually a hero. Well, not superhero. You start out as just a normal guy. You're unlocking your special abilities, and they are not normal human abilities. And as you get to the end of this game, you become like a Japanese Superman that kills.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's 100% a thing. We're about to get it again. I will say because like I said, the final fight got me because I for like when Jin makes the final blow, it goes to a cutscene and it's him screaming and like the voice quivers, he's crying. Like I didn't like lose it, but like I had a moment like, oh, I was like, oh, it
You
did
got
sucker
punched in
punch
the
me.
heart. Somebody just like squeezed
Yeah,
your
yeah,
phone.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the other thing, this was my first. I think this has to be because my dog passed away 6 months ago, about six
Mm.
months on Monday. Um, it's always a sad thing when an animal dies in a game, or in real life for sure. But what I didn't expect is when I got to that point with the horse. Like
Hmm.
at first it's like a sad thought, and then it just connects to something, and I just lost it. Like I had to stop
Yeah.
playing for a bit, because it's just started making me think like, oh man, my baby boy.
Yeah.
Um, but they do a great job of establishing your bond with the horse. And I love that you do the whole, like if you see the pictures I posted up on our Instagram, I took a special photo right before I turned off the game of just playing music at his little grave, saying goodbye. And I love those things. The only thing I'll say, and the reason why Red Dead 100% does this thing better, is because they let you pet your horse. So get on it. Sucker punch. Because
Just
pet
that
your
like
animals.
little bit of a bond built just like adds to it a little bit more.
That and along like because it's not a little bit. There's a whole system in Red Dead to like building the bond to your horse of brushing him, feeding him, taking good care of him, getting him to the
Mhm.
higher levels and whatnot. And when you do that, and where that goes, spoilers for Red Dead Redemption 2. Um, And the sad part of that being like he doesn't have the time to bury his horse. He just says, "Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you," and leaves. Like, oh God. And here, it's 100% Jin's fault. It's 100% Jin's fault. Because first of all, even if it is Jin's fault, the people shooting at you, hitting like I would never forgive my uncle or his men because he's not killed by the bad guys. He's killed by the people that were sent by the what Shogun to assist
Mhm.
your uncle, because this is after the you've been caught as the ghost, turned yourself in, all that good stuff. Um, and poor baby went on as long as he could, but I was just like, Jim, just escape without it. Like just leave him there and we'll recover him later. And I like what's gonna happen. It's part of the story. But no, we have to break him out in the most abrupt way possible because we're the ghost and we're bad at this. And we just and we lost a life. And I was so sad. So sad. But that is to also say, I do hope you can pet animals in this. Because it's technically something that's added in the DLC because they have the
Mm.
sanctuaries. And it's so cute because the cats like nibble on your arm for a little bit first, and I'm like, bro, I better see this shit in the sequel. Like, you better not drop here. Because, like you said it when we watched that original Borderlands 3 trailer, they talk about petting the cat, but you don't actually see yourself pet the cat. Come on,
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
on now.
It's just I think it's just like you see yourself like doing this with the
And dude, that's
like
all but like that's
yeah.
like to even make the motion is so helpful. Because I love when another thing that I'd kind of forgotten when you finish a mission. I know the title cards because you see like the name of the mission and then it blows away. You and your horse are in different positions. Sometimes you're like leaning against him, falling asleep. Sometimes he's nuzzling you after you've experienced something really sad.
Mhm.
Um, Sometimes he's just really goofy and excited. Sometimes he's just there being stoic. It's awesome. I love the variety there. I do hope they increase that again. If you're not increasing the size of the game, let's again, the detail is where we want to see it.
Right.
But we'll see. We'll see. But still, overall, great game. I know I give Ernest a lot of shit for loving it, but it is a very, very good game. And again, we have so much to look forward to with this Ghost of Yotei, and I'm curious. I want the narrative to be better, and I want it to be structured better. I understand free flow, but I feel like you're taking me out of the free flow with that whole 1 of 9 crap.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And like everybody doesn't need to have the same one. No, not everyone
Like I
does, but
know
all
that
your main
killed
people do.
you. They killed
Final
you with
Fantasy.
I think yeah, Final
Yep.
Fantasy.
I
Yeah.
was
And see
already
like
thinking about it.
the dots at
Yep.
the top
And
or
then the
whatever.
same
Yeah.
amount every fucking time, man. I was just like, stop it. Because that's what killed. That's why I was like, okay, I'm done doing all of these things. Other than Queen's Blood, I was just like,
Oh yeah,
this is a lot. And then you
Queen's
get to
Blood's
the
so good.
it's so good. How is that not a mobile game
So
yet?
good.
Like, how is
Yeah,
that not a
it's
mobile game, Square?
crazy.
But literally, I'd have to relearn it at this point. But still, I'd totally be down. But literally, it got to the point where you would do something halfway, and like you're in completion mode. You're like, okay, I'm knocking these things out. Wait, why are you stopping me? And you don't get the other half of those activities till you unlock the next area. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
you're gonna play with me like that? Just like you're gonna play with me like that? Fuck that. Terrible, terrible decision there, man. But great game. We love that game. I don't want to act like I hate that either. You gotta criticize what you love, or else it's not gonna love you back. That doesn't sound like the right statement.
That's Not a thing. It's not a thing at all.
But it's okay to criticize the things you love because you want them to be better.
That's yeah. Okay, I'll
In
take
terms
that
of
one.
arts, not
That's a good one.
necessarily people, but yeah. But
People
yeah,
too.
yes, actually true.
Give them what they deserve so that they can be better.
Count their chops for days, baby.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah,
abuse.
man, it's been good. Some great games have been beaten, whether I love them or not. And it's been fun. And we're gonna have a lot more fun coming in. Like I said, we're coming back this next week, but we'll be back the week after that. You'll see us pop up, and we're gonna be doing content. We'll like follow us on our TikToks, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, X, Bluetooth, Blue Sky. Uh, we're everywhere, and we're gonna still be doing our daily stuff because that grind don't rest, baby. Um, I guess I kind of just did your thing.
Yeah, yeah. You want me to tell them again? You want
If
me to
you'll,
tell them again? I'll tell them again.
you don't have because yeah, follow us on all those socials. My bad,
Yeah,
and I might as well just close it out with. And also, you can reach us directly with an email, lifeisstorytelling@gmail.com. We appreciate any and all feedback, and we fucking love you.
we do fucking love you,
We
man.
do, we
We
do.
do like a lot, like a lot, dude. Yeah,
But with me moving into a new spot, I'm gonna be saving money. There's gonna be some things I can put my money into for bettering some certain things.
it's
Along
gonna
with
kiss
that,
Justin a lot,
I already
lot of
do.
kissing.
If you don't let me pet the horse, I gotta kiss the homie. That's it's a shirt. I'm gonna get that on a shirt. And then Ernest, at some point next year, will be moving in with us, and at that point, it's just gonna be another change in the ball game there, and
Yeah,
also save me more money. So that'll be beautiful.
drugs.
Oh no, you didn't hear that. But Ernest, before we get out of here, since I took your kind of thing there at the end completely by accident, you got anything you want to throw out before we leave?
um, what's it called? He Who Fights with Monsters is amazing. Read that shit.
Oh, it's a book. There we
That's
go.
it.
There we go. He
Yeah,
who fights with monsters. No, no, we will not. I will cut that.
so good. So good.
But thank you
It's
all.
technically gaming related. It's
Oh, really? How?
isekai.
Oh, well, that's an anime. That's not a gaming thing.
It's a book, man. Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah. Yeah. True.
That's not a gaming thing. It's a book,
No, what
though.
he has video game powers. That's the thing.
I
My
understand.
bad.
Obviously,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
actual hate. No actual hate.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
either I can be done with that or Ghost, and I think I'm going to side with Ghost.
You got like a
So,
mini map.
you're a mini
It's
map.
cool.
But thank you all for tuning in, and I hope you all have a great rest of your week.